Interface Video presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, and the Frankie Smith Funeral Home.
Hello friends, and welcome to Fairfield Today. I'm your host, Paul Jasson. Thank you for joining us down here, as always, in our little cubicle at Fairfield Federal in the downtown office, right where everything, before very long, the Lancaster Festival will be upon us. We had Deb Connell on a couple of weeks ago, and we're talking about all the events coming up at the Lancaster Festival in Kansas, and everybody coming in, Sarah Evans, and everybody being involved, and so much of that happening right downtown here at the gazebo right behind us. But one of the events that's more current than that, and actually coming up this weekend, is always fun to talk with folks from the Lancaster Playhouse. Again, one of the great places in town over the past few years. It's really come into prominence and have done some great theaters, some great musicals, and this one is no different coming up this weekend. It's Clue, the musical. That's kind of a challenging name because I remember Clue, the board game, but now it's Clue, the musical. We'd like to welcome Melissa Nicholson, who's the choreographer, and I must say you look resplendent in your outfit here. I'm going to guess, as well as the choreographer, I'm going to just make a wild guess that you're in the play.
Yes, just a little.
Do you sing also?
No, that's the one thing I will leave to the rest of the cast.
Let the professionals handle that. And we'll have them on a little bit later, and we'll have a little scene here and then talk with a couple folks from the thing. So this is Clue the musical. I'm fascinated by that. I mean, it sounds like it would be so much fun because Clue was one of those great games to play as a kid. Everybody played it as a young person, and now it's evolved into a play and now a musical. And I'm going to guess that as the choreographer of this, it's just great fun to get these folks involved.
Yeah, it's been an absolute blast because Clue the musical actually was not ordained to have dancing in it. And so Angela, the producer, decided she wanted to spice it up a little bit more.
Wow.
And thought, let's pull in a choreographer, let's add some dancing. And I said, I would love to.
That's amazing. It took taking a lot on here.
Yeah.
So then I guess that kind of makes you come up with people in the play that not only can act, which is a challenging thing because there are a lot of good young people and good people around that can handle the acting, but now they have to actually have some coordination and dance and sing, and that's probably a challenging proposition. But I think in meeting the young people that we're going to have on here in a little bit, I'd say mission accomplished.
Yes. It was a lot of fun seeing actors try to dance and sing. But, nowadays in theater, you need to be the triple threat, and that's what we got with a lot of our
triple
group.
threat, I like that.
The triple threat, yeah.
So this is Clue the musical, and it's the Lancaster Playhouse. And again, in the last few years, they've done so many things. We've had the folks on. Usually it's Rosemary Hayjost, and Rosemary was here earlier. She's unable to be with us today, but she is, when you talk about troopers in the business of the Lancaster Playhouse, Rosemary gets it done each and every day. She's involved in every aspect, and I'm sure of this, it's no different.
No, she was just there with us the other day doing rehearsals and helping out, so she's always a part of it.
And she's doing some PR. I know she's been on radio and done other things. We've certainly had her on here over the years. The Lancaster Playhouse, you're down just a block or so away here at 201 South Broad Street. 974-6648 is the phone number. That's a box office phone number. You can call that, and if there's nobody responding to that, you can leave a message and get tickets that way at Lancaster Playhouse. You can look them up online. They've got things going there. So it's an exciting time this weekend. How long has this kind of production been going on?
It has. We've been rehearsing since the beginning of March. Okay. So it's only a couple months actually before the show, which is amazing because normally you get at least 3, 4, sometimes 6 months. So we're asking a lot out of these actors.
Well, and we're blessed today to have a couple of those actors with us. Tell us who we're going to have and then what we're going to see.
Yes, so we have our detective who is here to solve the clue and help us as the audience, help us out, figure it out.
Sure.
And then we have Mr. Green.
Ooh.
Yes, the sly character in the board game who is known for his shifty hands. So we're going to see a little bit of an interrogation happen as you'll see on stage.
Well, we're going to cut away for just a second, and then well, thank you for joining us, Alyssa. Thank you for what you're doing in the play. It's going to be great fun. And then we're going to see a little quick scene from the play, and we'll back to talk to the young people that are the actors that we're talking about, the detective and the people involved. Mr. Green, we'll talk to them after the scene. So we'll be back with the scene from Clue, the musical, in just a moment.
If you want to be successful in business, you need a certain look, a certain sound. I'm Mr. Green, jack of all shades.
Mr. Green, you and Mr. Body were business partners in several ventures. In fact, in Vegas, he swindled you out of a bundle.
Hey, that's just the way the cookie bounces.
I'm sure it is. But with Colossal Nips and Tucks, the roles were reversed. It was your turn. You were duping him out of hundreds of thousands of dollars. He found out. He threatened you, and you killed him.
Look, that money was mine. I know, because I never count my chickens before they cross the sidewalk. Babe, if you think you're looking at a killer, clean the wax out of your ears.
It is always such great fun to do a show where we can kind of step out of our little comfort zone here. I always enjoy the interviews I get to do with folks, but when we're able to have somebody on, say, from the Lancaster Playhouse and do a scene from the whatever play we're discussing and promoting at that time, it's always great fun. So I hope you enjoyed that. Just a brief look at what Clue, the musical, will look like coming up this weekend. We'll talk more about where tickets and where it'll all be down here just a block away from us where they'll be performing. I'd like to welcome back Jill Nyheiser and Aaron Turnbull. Jill, Aaron, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
It looks like it's going to be great fun.
It already has been great fun.
The interaction between you two, I mean, you can see that. It's great. It looks like you really enjoy just the whole Clue, the musical thing right here. So
We do.
Do you? How long?
Yeah.
I'll ask you first, Jill.
Okay.
How long has this been going on? How long have you had to get to this point where the performance is now?
Okay, so we have actually only been able to practice for about 2 months.
Wow.
Before we actually
Wow.
perform. Right. So we're putting a lot together in a small amount of time.
Sure. And now I understand this is your first endeavor, your first
Very
foray
first. Very
into
first.
musicals or plays, and
Any
you're
of it.
jumping in big time.
I am.
Wow.
No toes in the water. I went ahead and did, the full cannonball.
The
So,
full Monty,
yeah,
you're
I
in all
did.
the way?
I did.
And it's working out? Are
It
you
is.
enjoying it that much?
You know what? Everybody has been so patient, so gracious,
Yeah.
so kind.
Yeah.
I have learned tons. Everybody's been an awesome help. Ask questions, get answers. Everybody's been super helpful. The director is amazing, super kind, wonderful in her direction. The cast really feels like a family. We've gotten together after practice times, and that's been a blast. So I've loved every minute of it.
So if this is your first one, what kind of prompted you to get involved in this to begin with?
Well, I've always loved theater.
Okay.
So when I go, oftentimes I'm quoting lines and singing songs from the audience. And my husband finally got tired of hearing me in his ear and said, please, just try to go take it on the
Fulfill
stage.
this
That's
ambition,
right.
yeah.
Just see how far you can get. So really it was from his encouragement, but it didn't take much to encourage me to go. So.
Jill Nyheiser and Aaron Turnbull were the ones we saw from the scene. We're talking to them now from Clue, the musical. And Aaron, I gather you've got a bit more of experience than Jill does in this, and you bring a little more.
Yeah, so I started acting in high school, and I've been doing it for about 10 years since.
And so the bug is, as it will get, Jill, I'm sure obviously it has you, and you've done mostly in Columbus, but plays up there, your first venture
Yes.
down here. How did you hear about this? Is there a place where all this information gets out, a clearinghouse or something?
Yes, so on Facebook there are several pages where anybody can go, and there are pages where any theaters around the Central Ohio area will post audition notices for shows. And so I saw the Lancaster Playhouse posted there. audition notice for Clue the Musical, and I love the game growing up, and I love the movie with Tim Curry. So I thought it would be an incredible experience to try to audition and be in the musical version.
Now, have you done musicals before? Or
Yes.
Oh, you have. So
Yes,
this
yes,
is
I have
not a real
done.
stretch for you. This is something you're comfortable doing where she goes in all the way, does the full Monty. And I'm sure you remember your first time doing this, too. I mean, that's a lot to take on,
Yeah.
acting and singing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a bunch.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of work to do on your own outside of. And I mean, we all have our own full-time jobs outside of this. We're not getting paid for this, so
Sure.
but we do it because we love it so much.
Sure, sure. Well, that's great. And again, this is Clue the Musical, and it'll be down at the Lancaster Playhouse, which is just a block away from here at 201 South Broad Street, down there above where we remember it as the Shaw Building up above there, across from the post office right there. It's May 3rd, 4th, 10th, and 11th?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And things start, and I didn't get a mention when I had Alyssa on, talked about the speakeasy. I know we can't talk much about
Right.
that, but this is something going on kind of Clue the Musical, something that's going to happen right before that. So that's pretty exciting.
It's
right?
awesome.
Yeah.
Our director had mentioned that this is TLP's first time having so many people audition.
Okay.
And so since the cast is so small
Sure.
in Clue itself, and so many wonderful people tried out, they wanted to make a way to put this talent that was offered in front of everybody. And so thus the speakeasy is born, and so there's a lot of talent that's put into that, singing, dancing as well. And so it just goes right. It's a fluid movement, one into the other, so it's all part of the same show. Yeah.
Well, Jill and Aaron, thank you for joining us today. We enjoyed having you and seeing a little snippet of what you do. It looks just such great fun. We look forward to seeing that.
Thanks.
And again, it's Clue the Musical. It's coming up here this weekend, May 3rd, 4th, and then 10th and 11th. For the regular performances, I think things open up around 6:30. For the matinee performance on the 11th, they'll open up about 1. But you can call 974-6648. That's the number to get some reservations, get your tickets ahead of time. They're on Facebook. They're all over. Just click in Lancaster Playhouse. You'll find it. So I want to thank Alyssa for being on here with us earlier, and Jill and Aaron joining us now for Clue the Musical this weekend. We'll be back. Mike Tharp in the Parks.
The Frank E. Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our 2 locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster or 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Welcome back to Fairfield Today. I want to thank all those folks, Jill and Aaron and Alyssa from the Lancaster Playhouse. Clue the Musical coming up this weekend. You can tell those folks really, those young people really enjoy what they're doing there. And Clue the Musical just sounds so great. If you remember the board game or the movie with Tim Curry, it'll be just great fun. And we'll continue in a lighter vein with our superintendent of the Lancaster City Parks, Mike Tharp. Mike, welcome. Welcome.
Thank you.
And I always kid whenever we have Mike on, we could probably have him on at least once a month, if not more often, because there is almost not a week and certainly not a month goes by that the Lancaster City Parks is not involved in something in the area. You guys have a full plate.
We do, all
Yeah.
year round. And it's so enjoyable.
Yeah.
It makes me smile just to hear somebody say that, but it's truly, this is one of the most enjoyable jobs in this city.
Well, we've got a lot to, and I was kidding before we started. Earlier in the week, I'd asked Mike, said, Mike, give me some idea about some things we want to talk about. I knew some things and some other things. He gave me a list of about 50 things they talk about here, so we won't get to them all, but we'll try to get to most of them. One, and actually this is something I wasn't aware of, and you just informed me on this, is a fitness center, something new and open and going now out at Olivedale?
Yes, we just opened the Lancaster Parks and Recreation Health and Fitness Center, 6,500 plus square foot of exercise. We have done our homework over the last year to try and accumulate a mass amount of equipment we knew this was coming with the move on Meals on Wheels to the old Cedar Heights School. We knew that we were going to have a lot of square footage in Olivedale Park open for us to do something with. And it just made sense for us, being Parks and Recreation, to do a health and fitness center. We already had a wellness center in place. It was small, and we wanted to expand on that because we had so many classes that were full. It was just an opportunity for us to target a group of people that seemed to want to use a low-key facility. So we created a 35 and over health and fitness center.
And typical of the Lancaster Parks, they don't do anything small.
No.
When they've gotten into this, they go from 0 to 60, like right now. So again, you've purchased a bunch of equipment. You've got things going on down there and classes. How would people find out about the hours of this or how to utilize this? How would that information be obtained?
So really the best way to go to do this is go to Olivedale Park. Olivedale Park also houses the Olivedale Senior Organization, where they do all of their programming, their events. So it's actually a dual-use facility. We use the 35 and over group in the Wellness Center, and the seniors use the Wellness Center. And then upstairs, it's a mixed-use facility also, with the Olivedale seniors doing card games and bingo and dances. And then now we're starting to use the other side of this building, what we're calling the East Wing, as general community programming. It's going to be a facility that's able to be rented out, utilized for just the general public. So go to Olivedale Park and go to the front desk, and you have to declare whether you want to join the 55 and over group or this 35 and over group.
I wouldn't have to declare. I think they would realize which group I'm probably in.
What's really odd about this is we have we have 98 members right now that are 35 and over. And of those 98 members, more than half of them are actually 55 and over.
Yeah.
So,
and they're involved in the exercise part of it.
Yes. They didn't want to, for some reason, they didn't either want to admit their age or they didn't want to be involved in the programming for the Olivedale Senior Organization. So they just went ahead and joined the 35 and over group. And it's a group that really gets along really well.
That's great. And again, I guess it'd be just best to go out there, look at it. You can see what it all entails, and then make your own judgment on what's right for you.
Yeah, and we'll give you a free pass to take in one of the classes, completely free at no charge, and see if you like it. And go downstairs and work out and enjoy the swimming pool that's downstairs. Sure. Take one of the classes and see if you like it.
So the cost for this is, if you're a member of Olivedale, is that part of that, or is this a separate deal?
So to join either the Olivedale Seniors or the 35 and over group, it's only $24 a year.
Wow.
And then $20 a month gets you a monthly pass that you can do unlimited classes and unlimited pool and workout and whatever you'd want to do. So it's a pretty good deal.
Well, if you know, it'll be a class thing if the Lancaster Parks are behind it. We know that. And again, looking at some of the tips you gave me, I mean, now as we head into the spring and we get it right on the cusp of springtime moving into summer, here we go. Registration. These are just some of the things you can register for, either now or in the future. Summer camps, softball, kickball, archery. Tennis camps are coming up, as well as youth football, perhaps a little later in the season. But my golly, there's room for almost every kid in town to get involved here.
There is. The youth football and the summer camps, those are really geared towards children. The kickball, that's adult. This is what you and I played on the playground as children. Now, last year we had 180 plus adults playing kickball in Rising Park on Thursday nights.
Nice. And I've been out there through that, and it's all lined off. I see people keeping score. I mean, it's really a big deal.
Referees and everything.
Yes, I thought this was amazing.
There's actually a National Kickball Association.
Really?
When we got into this, we kind of took it over from Lancaster Alive.
Yes.
And why, I'm not sure, but ever since the day I took this job, I wanted that program. I wanted kickball in the parks, and
says something about your makeup, possibly.
It is, but and when Lancaster Alive offered it up to parks, I was just
jumped at it.
Duck on a June bug, kind of jumped at it.
Man, that's great.
It.
So again, just go. You can they can call out there to your office. What's the number?
740-687-6651.
And you can call that, or you can go on just Lancaster Parks and Recreation. They have a great website, lots of information on there, and very user-friendly. You can find out everything they've got going on. It's a big website because they've got a lot going on there.
Yes, we do.
And again, we were just talking about it. Since we are here in Fairfield Federal, I want to mention the Friday night bandstand, and I had not seen the lineup. Last I talked to Carrie James, who handles that from the Fairfield Federal side. She hadn't had the lineup quite yet, but now they have it. It begins May 31st with a local big hitter, Bad Influence, and
One of my favorites.
way to kick things off.
Yes, they've done that this will be the third year in a row they've kicked off Friday Night Bandstand. And as far as I'm concerned, every year I want to kick it off with Bad Influence.
Well, that's the way to start the season with them. Again, that's May 31st, so just a month away on that, and golly, things happening. The summer's moving on. I was looking at some of the other groups here. Debbie Wright and Friends, everybody knows Debbie. She'll be joining us on June 21st. The British Invasion, always a huge time down here. The Lancaster Festival takes over for a couple weeks in July, and then come back with Dirty Jack Blue Steel, and then Hillbilly Deluxe, and finish it up on August 16th. So a lot of work there to get that done and get that lineup solidified, but it looks like a good one.
It is. I'm proud of this one, proud of last year's, and it's probably one of the most enjoyable jobs that as superintendent of parks I get to do because I love music. And Friday Night Bandstand has grown quite a bit in the last couple of years.
Well, I think that's an indication, too, of the great groups you've had down here. I think that's a big part of it. And, well, the cost is right. Let's say that. The cost is good here. Now, again, we'll have ice cream down here. Will that be available again this year?
Ice cream, the hot dogs, and the brats will be back. And
very good.
It's just a great atmosphere. It's a community atmosphere that is second to none.
I would say that, too. It's a Friday night. You come down here, it is wall-to-wall people, blocked off. I mean, it is crowded. If it's a hot night, then dress appropriately, because you're going to do some sweating down here, because that sun is still on you when this gets started under, what is that, like 6 o'clock? I forget what time
7 to 9.
7 to 9. It's a couple hours, and again, it's every concert. Even if it's not your cup of tea, just come out and enjoy the evening. That's what you see. Some of the many people, they're there every week. I mean, you know, they don't like everything, but they like the atmosphere. They like being here, involved in this. Says a lot for the parks and the community, I think.
It really does. You can't say enough about this community.
Yeah.
Completely awesome.
Good stuff. And now we're thinking about as we head to the end of April, golly, swimming pools right around the corner here.
We are 7 weeks away from opening up swimming pools.
Man, that's remarkable. Miller Pool has had a real renovation, something that's close to my heart. I've been on mic for many years about this right here. But I tell you, Miller Pool has made a tremendous transformation in the last few years. You drive by there and just look at it from 33 down there. Wow, it looks very cool.
First time we'd seen a profit out of that pool since 2006.
That's great. That's great.
And it probably longer than that, but that's all we've got records for right now.
Well, that's a wonderful place.
Thank you for staying on us, because that pool made a huge transformation, as you know. And then we brought back movie nights and dances. And this week we're going to do, this year, a Shark Week. We're going to show the original Jaws movie. And
really?
The original, 1977.
Need a bigger boat.
We're going to put shark fins and a boat turned upside down with a shark bite out of it, and we're going to create an atmosphere that people want to be at.
Well, like I say, the parks, they don't do anything small. If they get into it, if you get Mike Tharp and the parks involved in this, it's remarkable. And again, Tiki Pool is just stands on its own, one of the great places to go. I mean, great slides and great atmosphere over here. So, golly, two great places to go. And again, I can't talk enough about the wonderful transformation over the years, the last, 4 or 5 years maybe, that the Miller Pool has come to pass. It was kind of fallen on a bit of disrepair and done that now, but boy, not the case now. It is back. It is a wonderful place to go, very family friendly, and a lot going on there.
We're not done yet.
Okay, well, that's good to hear. I love that. I love that. With I'm all about the west side, keeping that thing going over there. You know, for years and years, that was the only pool, and every kid in town went to Miller Pool. So I'm glad to see that the parks has shown that tremendous interest in bringing it back. And we've got a couple minutes yet. I wanted to bring up, a couple of weeks ago, had a big kickoff for I'll just show that briefly, I won't show it much, but it's an all-abilities playground. It's going to take place and be done in Hunter Trace in the park, that big area right there where the building is. Used to be a small swimming pool there, as I kind of remember once upon a time, but they just had a kickoff and a tremendous community outpouring of people for that. I heard you say that it's going to be September-ish, maybe?
the end of July, the beginning of August is when we plan to open that, install it, and get it open.
Oh,
Yes.
you can get it going,
Yes.
okay. But it's an all-abilities playground. I know the Lancaster Kiwanis is tremendously involved in that. You're a member of Lancaster Kiwanis.
As well as you.
As well as I am, and proud members we are. Fairfield County DD, they were there in force. They're involved in this 100%. You know, obviously this is something they want, but this will be the only one anywhere around here like this, all abilities.
All abilities and multi-generational. Since this park sits on the bike path right across from Olivedale,
Right.
There's a huge senior component of this that can utilize this park. So we wanted this park to be something that children, grandparents, parents, anybody could get into this playground and on the equipment with their children, no matter what their ability or disability may or may not be. So you and I are both very proud of what this park is and what it's going to be. The Fairfield Foundation is on board. All of the banks of this community are on board. The community has just been, we're $237,000 plus of the $300,000 goal in less than 7 months to get this project going. So hats off to Lancaster.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a wonderful project, and again, I was fortunate enough to go down to the kickoff down there. I want to thank Bob Boehner too. Let's give Bob a big plug here from the Lancaster Kiwanis side of things. He stepped up early on and became a donator and put his name out there. Somebody who was involved in this, but as Mike has indicated, the foundation, huge. We just learned recently they were huge donors on this and participants.
Yes.
The banks, the businesses, Fairfield County DD, Temple, Custer, Montañez, everybody involved there. It's a really, well, we saw Travis Markwood open things up at the grand opening, really a community effort.
Gives you goosebumps, doesn't it?
It could really be something. And I was standing by a young man who was in a wheelchair, and his grandparents were there with him. And as you talk about that, so Grandma and Grandpa are going to be able to bring him and have a great time there.
And they can go right up on the playground equipment, not on the ground, but right up on the equipment with him.
Mike Tharp with the Lancaster Parks and Recreation, they've got a 1,000 things on their plate now. We've talked really just about a few of them. So again, you can, the number is?
740-687-6651.
Call the parks and get the information there. They got a website that's very comprehensive, user-friendly. You can find everything you want to know on that. Mike, always, thanks for being here.
Thank you, sir.
Look forward to having an update here. We'll have you back in like a couple days, and we'll talk more.
We'll do it again.
Lancaster Parks and Recreation Superintendent Mike Tharp, thank you for joining us in Fairfield today, and we've got a special bonus segment we're going to be back with in just a moment. Welcome back, and again, a little bonus section here. We've had such fun today talking with everybody about plays and the parks and everything. Pleasure to have Lita Cook on with us. Lita is the director of the Lancaster Handbell Ensemble. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Got a big concert coming up. This one is called Dance, Wherever You May Be. I think we're all kind of familiar with possibly where that came from. Lancaster Handbell Ensemble. It's this weekend, Sunday, and for our purposes here, it's 7 o'clock just down the street from us here at First Presbyterian Church, but you also got a previous concert to that, 3 o'clock in Newark?
Yes, Second Presbyterian in Newark.
Second Presbyterian at 3 o'clock, First Presbyterian at 7 o'clock.
Yes.
Okay, I'll never remember all that, but look it up on there. They have a good website, they have a Facebook page, but Dance, Wherever You May Be, what's that all about?
Well, guess. All of the songs have to do with dance.
Always a nice theme.
And I've been looking up quotes on dance, and there's some wonderful ones, like, walking is the job of the feet, dancing is the hobby.
Nice.
I love
that is very cute.
So we don't have the space to actually provide dancers. I had a vision of, on the Tennessee Waltz, having some waltzers, but the woman would have to be without shoes, and they'd have to dance down the middle aisle. And I don't think the church fathers in any place would.
You might have to find a new venue.
Would really approve of that. But we're just going to ask people to close their eyes, imagine, remember. And like I said, all of the pieces have to do with dance, including, we start off with the Lord of the Dance, which is in almost every hymnal these days. It started off as the Shaker song, "'Tis the gift to be simple." But dance wherever you may be. I am the Lord of the dance, said he. The words are just wonderful, but I often substitute the word life. Live then wherever you may be. I am the Lord of life, said he. If you live in me, I'll live in you if you live in me. Whatever. So those are important words. You cannot have life without movement. And for some, any movement can be dance.
Sure.
A person that is afflicted with any kind of disability can still dance in their minds. Children dance before they know this is music and this isn't music. You only dance to music, adults think. Children dance right away. So it's a joyful experience. It can be a very expressive experience. It's said that dance is the interpretation of life. We have guest musicians, Gert Young and Miriam Truex, and Nathaniel Shaner on percussion, and Josh Harkins on oboe. So
nice.
Several of the songs have different instrumentalists with us. Dancing Queen on handbells.
Nice. Mamma Mia, that's big stuff right now.
Yeah.
And for those, perhaps as some of you have not heard the Lancaster Handbell Ensemble, they are an amazing group. They do wonderful concerts. And again, I was blown away the first time I heard them, as I was, perhaps, I make the comparison to the Lancaster Percussion. The first time I heard them, I thought, I grew up in band, I know band, I understand band. Percussion are snares, bass drums, timpani, blah, blah, blah. Of course, Lancaster Percussion blows that away. And the same here for handbells. They're bells, okay? What can you do? You'll be amazed if you have not seen it. Your group is remarkable.
Thank you. One of the things we are going to take time to do this concert is to demonstrate what is going to be heard and seen, because it is an audio-visual experience.
Sure.
So the techniques, or as the group calls them, special effects, that are done with bells, we'll talk about and demonstrate, so as we go through the program, people will know where those sounds are coming from and be able to watch for them, which makes them more...
A little interactive.
Yeah.
Will there be a test? Lita, she's always the teacher. If nothing else, you're the teacher.
Yes, it's deeply ingrained, and I think it makes the concert more understandable and more enjoyable.
It does, and it's a great experience. Again, it's this Sunday. You'll be at 3 o'clock at Second Presbyterian Church in Newark. That'll be their first concert. And then they'll repeat it here locally at First Presbyterian Church, just down the road here, another block away, at 7 o'clock. And again, it's just a wonderful concert. The Lancaster Handbell Ensemble, dance, wherever you may be. I can tell you're all full of the life for this and you're ready to go.
Yes.
That's excellent. Lita Cook, who is the director of the group, and again, they're wonderful. I hope you can make time this Sunday to come out and see it at First Presbyterian Church locally at 7 o'clock. It's a wonderful concert. I know you enjoy it. Thank you for joining us, Lita.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on Fairfield Today.
Interface Video presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, and the Frankie Smith Funeral Home.